Hi Virgo, hope you guys are doing really well. My name is Brian. I am your queer psychic bestie and I have a reading for you guys today. This is going to be a monthly forecast for the month of September for the sign of Virgo. So if you have Virgo anywhere in your chart, maybe you just vibe with Virgos, you could be a cross watcher, whatever the case may be, this reading may resonate for you. As always, this is the internet, so take what resonates and leave what does not. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do that through email or form submission on my website. Virgo, we will be doing a Celtic cross for you in this video. A Celtic cross gives me the widest overview of like everything going on with you, what we need to talk about, what we need to discuss, what your guides want to talk about, and just it gives me a good vantage point view of your month. So, one more card, and then let's get into it. All right, Virgo, bottom of the deck is your challenge. Represents what you're not seeing, what you're not looking at. So we've got the Hanged Man, we've got the Seven of Cups, and we've got the Ten of Pentacles. Okay. I just heard really loud, dissolving family expectations. Sorry, I'm just moving. I get a little fidgety sometimes. I'm also a little bit under the weather today, so that's probably why. But with the Hanged Man, the Seven of Cups, and the Ten of Pentacles, like I said, we're sort of like dissolving familial expectations here. I think a lot of you guys in the month of September are going to be looking at Ten of Pentacles is the family unit. So this to me is reading very much as like the habits, the residual energies that your family sort of left you with, and then questioning whether or not they're helping you or whether or not they're holding you back. So let's dive in. You start with the Strength card, Virgo. I do love this. Card of Leo. You could have Leo in your chart. A lot of fire energy here. You know, there's a little bit of water, but a lot of fire here for you, Virgo. So Leo could definitely be in that chart for sure. With the Strength card, it's kind of coming out of the gate swinging. Strength is quite literally like having the strength to do something. It is like the fortitude, the willingness to go at something, to go after something. And so it feels like right off the bat, you're kind of, again, you're seeing what is left over here, what you, again, the word residual is coming through, the residuals that were left with you from the family, and then deciding from there, like, okay, do I want to keep this? Is this something that's enriching me, or is this something that's hurting me? Because your crossing card, so the crossing card in the Celtic cross is either a help or a hindrance. You have the Three of Wands here. I feel like this is a little bit of both, right? So the Three of Wands talks about needing to make a move. The Two of Wands is like absolute stillness, but then the Three of Wands is like, I'm just about to lift my foot and take that next step. So it does sort of feel like, to me, I feel like this is helping you and hindering you because there's a little bit of procrastination here, but there's also a little bit of like, okay, but I'm excited for the future, is how this is coming through. Some of you, I'm also hearing the word deadline. You have a deadline coming up. So be very careful with that procrastination. It's coming through that way. So I will say it. Maybe you're in school. Deadline, I mean, that could be work too. You have a deadline for work. But that came through really loud. So I'm going to leave it there. Four of Pentacles. Yeah. I think you guys are holding back a lot this month too. Six of Swords. Knight of Pentacles. King of Swords in the reverse. Okay, I'm hearing it, so I will say it. Some of you guys are very literal. You need to try not to be so literal with everything this month. It feels like with the King of Swords in the reverse and the Four of Pentacles, I think you guys are also having some, this is coming through weird, like communication issues. Like you're finding it difficult to talk to people or difficult to relate to people right now for some reason. And it feels like with this Knight of Pentacles and the Six of Swords, you're so focused on, I feel like, moving forward and getting through it that you're not asking yourself where the disconnect is coming from. You know, it's sort of like you're ready to just kind of charge forward and ignore the fact that you have this, like, this social disconnect happening, when really I feel like your guides are asking you to focus a little bit more on, why is it happening? What's going on? Is this, like I said, is this coming from the family? Like, do I have a fear that people aren't going to understand me, that I'm not being comprehended? Because we can say that communication is important, but communication without comprehension is meaningless. I could communicate all day, but if I'm not saying something where someone can understand me and comprehend what it is I'm trying to say, then it's kind of pointless. Why am I even talking? So I think for a lot of you guys, Virgo, this month is, you have to start figuring out how to better communicate with people. And keep in mind something that I think we all forget all the time is you're not communicating for yourself. You're communicating for the other person. Okay? So like it's just like a love language. You know, if my love language is quality time and my partner's love language is gift giving, and they're not spending time with me, but every time they see me, they give me a gift, that really doesn't do anything for me. Okay, yeah, it's your love language, but it's not mine. Okay, for a lot of you guys here, you have to understand that if you're dealing with people that are, you know, if you're a very literal person and you're dealing with someone who's not, you have to then learn how to tailor your communication style to at least find a healthy middle ground there, okay? In your headspace, you do have the King of Wands. So, King of Wands, again, you are very passionate, Virgo. You are very action oriented this month. You know, King of Wands is just sort of, again, there's this energy here of charging forward. I'm just going to make a run for it. And so it feels like you're very focused on your goals, your endeavors, while also simultaneously trying to figure out what's keeping you from them. The Hierophant, some of you could have a commitment coming in. Or you're looking for a commitment, you're asking for one. Six of Pentacles, the Hanged Man. Okay, some of you this is work, like you're looking for a different work here. Hierophant is commitment. The Hanged Man is waiting, gaining higher enlightenment by suspending from a tree. And Six of Pentacles is equal give and take. So this to me is a few things. For some of you, you are chasing a new career, a new job here. But for others of you, I think you're also kind of lonely. I think you guys are flying so heavily solo right now, or you have been for a while, that you're starting to feel disconnected from people. And again, I think this again comes from that communication mishap as well, right? Because I could be in a room full of people, but again, if I can't communicate with anyone, I'm alone. And I think this is sort of that leftover, that residual energy from the family that you're dealing with here, of like, maybe I don't know how to match communication styles, or I felt lonely for so long and I didn't learn how to remedy it. I don't know how to, you know, go out and find community and do all these things. So it feels like to me, you're sort of, interesting way to put it, killing time in your, like, as you're working, or as you're just kind of like going through your life. It feels like you're almost killing time instead of spending your time, right? Like, when I think killing time, I'm like, okay, I'm walking around in a circle in a vestibule. When I think of like how I'm choosing to spend my time, I'm walking around the mall, I'm going window shopping. There's a little bit more assertion with spending time versus killing time. Okay, so I think that's where you guys are kind of at right now. And moving in September, like moving through this, I think this is going to continue where you're like, okay, how can I be more intentional with how I'm spending my time and what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Because in your physical world, you've got the Star. So it does feel like there is healing going on here. I think you are doing like what's best for you, looking at whatever this is that's keeping you disconnected from everyone, but it also does sort of feel like it's a funny way to give it to me. My guides are showing me like standing on a stage and the spotlight hits you and you freeze. I think some of you guys are in a freeze moment here. Remember, it's like, oh my god, what is that, fight, flight, or freeze? I think some of you guys are a little frozen right now. You're a little in a freeze state. Even your cards aren't coming out. Queen of Swords, the Lovers. I think a lot of you guys are looking for partnership. Ten of Pentacles, yeah. I think a lot of you guys have felt, this is part of the family wounding is what I'm hearing. You know, you've felt so disconnected and so hungry for connection for so long that I think some of you guys, this is a little controversial but brave of me to say, you can't really tell the difference between platonic love and romantic love. Okay, I think for a lot of you guys here, I want to remind you also it's a little bit rough. You are not, you're looking for a savior right now. It feels like you're not really looking for a partner. It's like you think you're looking for a partner, but really you're looking for someone to kind of swoop in and save the day. That's not a partner. Okay, when the Lovers comes out, you know, card of Gemini, it's talking about if I want to enter a partnership, I have to show up as a whole person, right? And my partner shows up as a whole person and we meet in the middle. That's a partnership. Okay? Some of you guys are looking for someone to kind of swoop in and save you. That's not a partnership. That's not romantic. That's codependent. That's issues of like, I need to be taken care of. It's a childhood neglect wound. You have to delve into that this month, Virgo. That's going to be a very demanding issue for you this month because it feels like even though we're not talking very heavily about romantic love, there's this undertone of romantic love in your reading. Like, where is it? I want it. What's going on? Excuse me. And I think that's part of what you're sort of disassembling from the family, right? What you're sort of getting rid of. Because here in the past, you have the Queen of Cups. I think a lot of you are very emotional, more so than you want to admit. And it feels like something that's coming through is like you were... Whenever my guides go like this to me, it's quite literal, like silenced. I think a lot of you guys come from families that lacked emotional intelligence. Ooh, I hate this. I hate how this is coming through. Prioritized obedience. There could definitely be religious trauma here for you. Whenever my guides give me the word obedience, it rings very close to religious trauma for me. And so it feels like coming from that, as you're now growing up and becoming an adult, it's like you're not really, again, sure of your own emotion wheel. It's like you're not really sure of, again, is this platonic or is this romantic? It's a lot of confusion here. Yeah, you've got the Queen of Cups in the past, but then you've also got her on the bottom of the deck here. It's a challenge for you. It feels like it's always been a challenge for you. When we're raised by people that they don't have a good emotion wheel, the emotion wheel is happy, sad, angry. What does that teach us? Not a whole lot, that's for sure. Yeah, you've got Temperance, the Seven of Wands, and the Nine of Cups. I think a lot of you guys this month, you're disassembling your very strong trauma response of, I need a knight in shining armor. Something I will remind you guys of that is a little bit rough to hear is that sometimes we have to play every single role for ourselves. Sometimes we have to be the damsel in distress, the ruler of the kingdom, the knight in shining armor, the dragon, the castle. You have to play every single role for yourself here. And I think some of you guys are just now starting to like really understand that and starting to really digest that. I hate to say it this bluntly, no one's coming to save you. Friends, people that we love will be around to help us. But a good journal question for yourself, Virgo, here is, is anyone here to save us? Am I here to save anyone? Or am I here to save myself? There's a very big difference between helping someone and saving them. It's the same thing as if, like, you gave me a math problem and I asked you to help me, and you solved it. That doesn't really help me. I still don't understand it. You did it for me. I don't learn anything that way. Okay? When we are not saving ourselves, if we are saving other people or other people are saving us, we're not learning anything. Okay? We're not getting the tools for ourselves. We're just being spoon-fed, right? In your near future, you do have the 9 of Pentacles. So I think you guys are, like, I'm hearing growing up very fast. You know, I think that you guys are sort of coming to these realizations, but they're quite ugly, right? You know, they're not really easy to see head on. But you're doing it. The Star. Virgo, you should be really proud of yourself here. The Magician, the Star, the Ace of Cups, and the Hermit. You know, something that you're also going to realize here is that there's only so much healing we can do by ourselves, right? So if I have wounding around romantic love, there's only so much healing and so much progress I can make alone by myself before I have to go out and sort of let exposure therapy take over, right? And I think that's something that you guys are also recognizing here, is that you are healing, but at some point you're going to have to involve other people, involve outside opinions, you know, and work through that trauma almost in, like, think group therapy, like in a group setting, with other people. You know, with the Ace of Cups here and the Hermit, you will get really far by yourself. Of course, 9 of Pentacles, you will. But some of you also have a hyper-independence issue here, where you're like, well, I can fix everything and heal everything by myself, which is not really the case, okay? With the Magician here and the Star, something I want you guys to really start considering is, how can I open up to other people, and how can I start communally healing? How can I heal not on my own? Okay, that's going to look like things like literally therapy, group therapy, sitting down with your friends, talking about things. Okay, I think you guys have been so insular for so long, you don't know how to express it. You don't know how to let it out. And this is one of those moments where you're going to have to express it and let it out. Because how you're viewing yourself is the 8 of Cups. You know, you are ready to take your little voyage here and move on, which is beautiful, Virgo. You know, Queen of Cups, bottom of the deck again. I think you guys are sort of, I'm hearing fed up. Like, I think you're sort of fed up, like, with my own bullshit, is how I'm hearing it. The first step to changing, my guides are giving me, are recognizing that you don't want to be that way anymore. And that's a really crucial part to it, right? 3 of Wands, the Fool, and the 10 of Swords. Yeah. You know, with the Fool, the 3 of Wands, and the 10 of Swords, I think you guys are also coming to this conclusion of, like, I don't want it this way. I don't want to always be in this same boat, especially if that boat keeps sinking. You know, with the Fool here, I think also some of you guys, you need to be a little bit kinder to yourself right now, Virgo. Okay, I talked a lot about this in the Taurus reading, so you may have Taurus in your chart, but I think some of you guys are struggling to show yourself some grace here. You know, you can hold, two things can be true at the same time, right? I can hold frustration that maybe the issue isn't resolved within myself, while also holding kindness for myself that it's not resolved. They can coexist. I can be annoyed with the circumstances, but still be kind about it. Okay, it's like going out, and I don't know if you've ever been out in public, let's say you go to a restaurant, and you go up and you're a group of 5 and they're like, okay, it's 30 minutes. You're like, okay, great. And you go sit down and then someone goes up after you and they're also a group of 5 and they're like, oh, it's 45, like to an hour. And they like throw a temper tantrum. I can be annoyed that my group didn't think forward and make a reservation, but I'm also not going to throw that temper tantrum. I'm going to hold grace for myself and my friends and my group of people and be like, okay, you know, we didn't think ahead, but I'm happy that we're all together. I'm happy that we're still here, and I'm not going to take my frustrations out by blowing up on anyone. Okay? That's sort of where I feel like you are, Virgo. It's holding space for yourself and being kind while simultaneously acknowledging, like, okay, maybe this shit sucks. Because it does. You know? I just heard, again, religious trauma is big here. I just heard you don't have to crucify yourself to learn the lesson. You don't. Because your superpower right now is the Six of Wands. Your superpower is, quite frankly, it's victory. Six of Wands is victory and progress and movement forward. You know, so Virgo, I think what is so beautiful about your reading today also is that there's something very effortless here as well. That's like how this is ringing to me. It's like, okay, yes, this is difficult. Yes, I may be running into some obstacles and all this stuff, but at the same time, it's effortless in the sense of like, I'm just doing it. Do you know what I mean here? Like, it may be hard, but that's not stopping you. I think effortless is a word that we're in this case using to describe the fact that, Virgo, you're not allowing yourself to be stopped. You're not ceasing it. So it looks effortless to people because you're just kind of rolling with the punches. Everyone's like, oh my God, how are you doing this? And you're like, well, this shit is hard, but you're making it look effortless. Okay? Page of Swords, Two of Pentacles. The Devil, yeah. Page of Swords, Two of Pentacles, and the Devil. I think you guys also... I think the reason this looks effortless to you is or to other people is because for so long you guys have been dreaming about what's on the other end of this. You know, the Devil is those chains we can't escape from, right? And the Two of Pentacles is going back and forth. So I think for so long you guys have been in this place of what's better than this? What's on the other side of this? That the thought of remaining the same is almost so much worse and so much more debilitating than the thought of being afraid and changing, that you're just kind of looking it in the face and deciding, well, I'd rather change. You know, I say this to my clients and my collectives sometimes. What's scarier? Changing or never changing? Being brave enough to change or being too scared to change? Okay? Because your fear here and your hope is the Queen of Pentacles. For a lot of you, this is the mom wound coming back out to play here. Some of you, I think also, you're afraid that you won't be able to mother yourself. You're afraid that you won't be able to show this compassion to yourself and be kind and be understanding and nurturing. But what you're not seeing is that you're already doing it. By choosing a different path for yourself, you're already doing it. Why do you think that you can't? You guys gotta have some more self-confidence here, babe. Okay? Three of Swords, Knight of Cups, Wheel of Fortune. Okay. I got a tough message to give. Some of you need to start asking yourself why you're waiting on an apology that you know will never come. I'm so sorry. I know that one hurt. I think some of you are actively still waiting on an apology from the maternal figure here, from the mother line. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, babe, but it's not coming. You know, or if it is, it's years down the line. Why are we holding our breath right now? I think some of you guys also think that you can't give yourself closure without the apology. That's not true. You can give yourself closure here. You can process by yourself. You can do all of these things. You just need to get the tools. For some, like for those of you that are not in therapy, I would highly suggest looking into therapy here. Okay? I think processing old wounding and giving ourselves closure for it is really difficult. You know, it takes years and it takes time and patience. So I don't want you guys to rush yourselves here at all, of course. But I also don't want you guys to hold your breath. Okay, when we think of giving ourselves closure, I think of telling myself, you know, that person will never apologize. But what they did to me was unacceptable. And just because they're not going to apologize doesn't make it right. Doesn't make what they did any less horrible. Do you know what I mean here? It's like the absence of the apology doesn't mean I'm not getting closure. I can apologize to myself for what happened. I can show myself grace, kindness, empathy, and understanding for what happened without them needing to come in and tell me that they're sorry. Okay? That's like the start to giving ourselves closure, is acknowledging how horrible it was, and also acknowledging that we didn't deserve it, and also acknowledging that maybe they'll never apologize, but that doesn't make it right. It still makes it horrible and obscene. Okay? Your outcome here is the Two of Pentacles, Virgo. I see this month being very busy for you. I feel like you might be a little bit drained here. I think some of you guys are going to be burning the candle at both ends a little bit. You're going to be, like I said, you're processing really big emotions, but you're also living your life. You're still existing. You're still paying your bills. You're still doing all these things. So just take rest this month. You're going to need it, babe. This is a really exhausting month for you. I can feel it. As I just got to the last of the, like this last card, all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, Six of Cups, King of Cups, and the Five of Swords. Being able to emotionally regulate yourself doesn't mean that you don't falter. I'm going to remind you of that. King of Cups, being able, Six of Cups, Five of Swords. Being emotionally mature, being in that King of Cups energy doesn't mean, again, that it's not difficult. Emotion management is a tricky business and it's an exhausting business. Okay, so do not think that when you're being in a King of Cups energy that you have to always be strong. You have to always have everything together. You have to always keep that facade up of nothing is bothering me and everything is fine and I can handle it. Being a King of Cups energy means acknowledging that, hey, this shit is fucking tough. And asking for help if you need it. Okay? But I promise you here, Virgo, you don't need to constantly make it look like it's not difficult. That's not King of Cups energy at all. King of Cups energy is accepting what's going on. It's riding the waves, and it's also asking for help when you need it. Okay? Let's get you guys an oracle card. The oracle deck I am using today is the Angelarium. This is my favorite oracle deck to date. I use it all the time. If you've seen literally any video by me at this point, it's had the Angelarium in it. So let's get you an advice card, Virgo. Virgo, September. What's the advice for Virgo here, please? Please. Thank you. Interesting. You guys got Bezaleel, Angel of Shadows. Interesting. You'll see why. He's number 25 for those of us into numerology. Revealing this card is a reminder that the concerns you're experiencing might be illusory. It's easy to become fixated on ideas that haunt us. Recognizing a pattern of thought for what it is, rather than what it looks like, is a powerful tool. Now might be a suitable time to test your assumptions about what is really haunting you. Sometimes we think we know what's bothering us, but maybe we don't. Only by confronting the shadow and doing that very intensive shadow work do we actually get to the core of what is wrong and what's happening. Okay? Virgo, this is your monthly forecast. I'm going to leave your reading there, all right? If this reading resonates with you or my reading style resonates with you, do consider liking and subscribing. We are on the road to 200 subscribers, which is exciting. If you guys would like to interact with me on a live basis, I do go live 3 days a week on Twitch. You can find me Wednesday and Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. EST, as well as Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. EST. And until then, Virgo, I hope to see you on Twitch. I hope you have a fabulous day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are, wherever in the world. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye.